to be able to spend your 500 naira old note. Buhari knows that. So to add to your confusion, it will likely say, yeah, okay, yeah, go on with the old note. But if he double down, it simply means he's already achieved his aim of exposing them one of their plan to scuttle the election for Tifnumbu. That means he has achieved that, exposed them. So to further double it, to further expose them, then they will nudge it further and say it is illegal. Go ahead with your riots. Call it protest, but go ahead. As you are going out there to protest or do all of that, the soldiers are also going to be ready. I have 2 circulars, okay? One for the police, one for the Nigeria military. And they came from the same source, the presidency. Do you know what is in that memo? The army and soldiers you are seeing everywhere. The riot police you are going to be seeing from tomorrow in different states, right? They are acting based on the memo sent to them. Then in that memo, the presidency told them that they should all be on alert this week and get ready to be deployed for counter operations. Counter what? To counter what? So to show you that they will be ready to help you, add fuel to the fire as these guys are about to start it. So that at the end of the day, there will be no elections. Others said, no, Mayego, you are not reading it right. I strongly believe that Buhari want to, this time around, that is deploying soldiers, deploying police. He is trying to leave a legacy. The legacy that he will leave a free and fair election. And I said, and you believe that? He said, yes, I do. I don't want to judge you. I don't believe that. But it's good that you have a theory that shows that the deployment of soldiers is to scare those who are going to be used by the APC governors. There are 22 of them. And so far, so good. All of this battalion of soldiers have been seen in places like Imo States. They've arrived. They have been seen in places like Zamfara. They've arrived there. They have been seen in Nasarawa. They have been seen in Ogun State. They have been seen in every 4 corners of Lagos State. From Ojo to Festac, from Festac to Island, from Island to Lekki, from Lekki to Adeniji. They have been seen en route to Ondo State. Like I told you, if you have been watching this program from the start, Buhari that they claim to be dumb, is now playing a chess game that those who are smart are about to be smoked out. So this week, one of the expected surprise this week is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Part of what I think that Buhari may pull out of his cap, of his art of tricks, is to suddenly mock the APC, Egbekegbe, that decided to back Buhari after disobeying court orders on many occasions for years. They said for the sake of national security and national interest, Buhari was free to disobey any court order, frivolous court order, they call them. Judgment from the legitimate courts in Nigeria were dishonored, were like nothing. So part of what I believe that Buhari may pull before Saturday is the surprise change of mind of Buhari's government to begin to obey court order. also, this same week, you are likely going to see the EFCC to begin to suddenly discovering money. And this will be money associated with APC, Egbekegbe, this week. As the chaos, the confusion, and the whole thing continues, you are likely also, because I actually jotted them down for the first time, going to get the election extended. Yeah. And the moment they make an announcement to postpone the election, what I'm going to tell you is this. APC are going to lose the moment they do. But when I say lose, I will explain that to you. They are supposed to lose normally. Like they are not supposed to even be anywhere saying they want to continue with whatever Buhari is doing. Okay? Whatever is going on, right? Buhari has done so much. And then he has reminded you of how horrible APC, Egbekegbe, has been, and how treasurers, those who parade themselves as members or leaders or whatever that has to do with APC, he has reminded you of all of that. It's over to you. However, the reactions to all of this, after the nocturnal meetings they are calling here and there, northwest, southeast, everywhere right now, the politicians, APC, PDP, and all of them, of course, they're not going to go down without a fight. And to further prove to you that it is not just about the money or the naira, all right? They will force his hand and they will announce an extension. These are projections based on what is happening, what would happen, right? And knowing Nigeria for what Nigeria is. That would then tell you that whatever mathematics, whatever permutation, whatever anything that Tifnumbu and all of them plotted, the moment they announced that postponement of that election, ladies and gentlemen, it simply means the end of APC. Egbekegbe has come. But like I said, that they won't go down without a fight. That is where the end of Nigeria will begin to cook as well. Like, will begin to come to reality. What do you mean end of Nigeria? I mean the same thing. It simply means that the hypocrisy about one Nigeria will go off the roof. Everyone that is going to be reprobating, what's it? They say what they say. You are okay. It doesn't matter. Don't worry. I'm talking about those who are neither cold nor hot, especially those who are always like reactionary, those who are reading the body language or the body odor of Buhari. Reprobate and approbate. I get it. Yes. Back and forth. Reprobate, approbate. Ogbeni Oyibo hard. Sure, you get me now, Don't try to impress anybody. If you remember him, talk him. If you don't remember him, no mind him. No mind me. You don't mind anybody, just like me. Oh, hard go. When Buhari do this, this Buhari is a betrayer. How could you do this to Asiwaju? Asiwaju that. Then Buhari will do another. Say, Buhari, thank you so much, President Buhari. You are the best. We trust you. You are our leader. Thank you so much. I mean, if you have been following them, you understand what I'm saying. Reprobating, approbating. Neither here nor there. The weathermen, the people that react as the weather changes, and the rest of them, right? Praising Buhari in the morning, attacking him in the evening. All of that will come to the head this week. From my from my own findings, and it will further trigger or bring to reality other things I have told you. This is not prophecy. This is not. Don't take anything I tell you. Don't take them serious, okay? But just pay attention to the happenings I've told you will happen, because all of these are coming from the background of what has happened. So you could easily project what will happen. So, but if Buhari decided not to postpone the elections, do you know what will happen? Coupled with other dramas that you are witnessing right now, the money and the rest of them, they can still do the damages with or without Buhari's support. And I want you to pay attention to this. If they are unable to force his hand, and they go into this as planned, with or without new and old notes, they will still be able to force Tifnumbu to become your next president. They call it popular vote, ladies and gentlemen. I am kind of a little bit amused, or should I say amazed. I am amazed. Agbados. That a lot of you are beginning to believe that Nigeria is actually going to conduct free and fair elections. I mean, such a nice time to be alive. You would say, or strange times we live in. A lot of you believe that INEC in Nigeria are going to conduct free and fair elections. And that is why, when you look at the body language of Buhari, it be like saying won't conduct free and fair elections. Wow. I mean, I don't believe them, but don't blame me. I am speaking from experience, not from the emotional part of it. So I am therefore going to tell you my mind based on that, without ignoring your supposed facts too. INEC have no choice. People can only rig where they are popular. But let's not ignore this too, okay? Hang on. They call something popular vote in Nigeria, and that is where the most contentious states, contentious with a K, like when you talk about the Kardashians, the three Kardashians, they are so important in Nigeria election. That is where the corrupt numbers always come from. The three Kardashians. Constant K. K for the Kardashians. Kano, Kasina, Kaduna. It doesn't really matter what's going on there. It doesn't really matter if the people there are going through hell. They are the three Kardashians of the APC, Al-Qaeda People's Congress. APC, Egbe. So traditionally, what happened? Voter suppression, voter profiling, voter apathy are also a very good or potent tool that has worked for APC, Egbe for a very long time, and they've always backed this with a propaganda never seen before. A lot of people believe them, even though APC, Egbe themselves don't. And that is being threatened as we speak. You suppress people in the areas that you believe that if they should turn up. For example, when they talk about Kardashians, the voters in Kano are put at 5 million. The voters in Lagos, Western Nigeria, they are put at over 7 million. The voters in Borno, they are put at 2.3 million. The voters in Anambra, registered voters in Anambra, they are put at 2.5 million. But with propaganda, you will be worried about the voters in Borno because they always vote. Why the people in Anambra with more voters, according to INEC, they are nothing? Because they don't vote. is a long time held propaganda. Some of you never paid attention to them. But a lot of people are now paying attention to them. It's adding to the worry of the establishment. And I want you to pay attention to them this week. Nigeria has 124,000 polling units as at 2019. INEC in Nigeria did abracadabra, really. I mean, they said a lot of some polling units have more voters, too many voters that a lot of people don't vote. So they redesigned the voters map, and they created more voters. Polling units. So from 124,000 polling units, they jumped straight to 179,000 polling units. Well, last week they canceled 240 of them and brought them down to somewhere around 176,000 or thereabouts. I'm not sure. So you need two people to man those places if you want to win an election. But you may not be able to provide all of them everywhere. Or you need two people. So two people times 176,000 polling units. Baba, that's like a 350,000 people to start with to trust and entrust this. So all these numbers are now numbers that people now make public. These are the structures that APC, PDP talks about. So you become party agents, two people to man 176,000 polling units, and each of them given money to buy votes at every polling unit. So if you are not popular in some area, then you need INEC. How do you disenfranchise them? 2.5 million people registered to vote in Anambra. Enugu Akwa Ibom have 2.2 or 2.3 million people registered to vote. Jigawa has 2.1. But in your electoral traditional way of Nigeria, Jigawa is more important than Akwa Ibom, because Akwa Ibom won't vote. You know why? When you check the data, you see how many people registered to vote in Jigawa. 2.1 million. How many voters collected their voters card in Jigawa? 2.1 million collected their voters card. How many people registered to vote in Akwa Ibom? 2.5 million people. How many people collected their voters card in Akwa Ibom? How many people are able to collect their voters card in Akwa Ibom? 800,000 people. What happened to the rest of 1.7 million? They can't find their voters card. Oh, they didn't print their voters card. Oh, they can't find their polling unit. That is how you suppress voters even before the election day. Are you following? Because there must be something that actually fits the traditional way they've made you believe Nigeria politics work. They don't vote. Don't mind them. They don't vote. They will never come out and vote. They will be playing football. You don't vote because you will never have your voters card. They've already disenfranchised over 50% of you before the D-Day. Now, if you show up, they will buy half of you. All right? And then they will deny the rest of you from even like casting that vote. That's how you rig people. That's rigging. A systemic rigging that they want Buhari to do. So surprisingly, the numbers of voters in Nigeria have continued to drop, and people are losing interest. Don't waste your time. Why are you voting? You're wasting your time. So nobody's interested. So by popular vote, Tifnumbu, who was working and believing that they will get at least 12 million votes conveniently written, waiting for them by the Buhari, they discovered that there is no 12 million votes anywhere, Sha. There's never any 12 million votes anywhere. In fact, the fact that the selfish man, Buhari, is not going to be part of your elections, there is no 12 million. There's no vote anywhere. If you are told that before, you better think again. Atiku is a Muslim, and they are now saying that the northern Nigeria is aligning. The north is aligning. Aligning for what? To keep the power in the northern Nigeria. Because by popular vote, a game of number, they can produce the president of Nigeria as whenever they want. But they have law. Their law says that to be the president of Nigeria, Nigeria has 36 states. So you need to win in 24 states, including the Federal Capital of Nigeria. And the winning they are talking about is also in phases. At first, you must target the popular vote. The popular vote is that when they had all the votes together, now who get the highest? Declare him the winner. That's popular vote. But as complex as Nigeria has been, most of the time, they've always kind of written their election before the election day. The establishment will align and they will write the whole results. But the way it works is that it's not just by popular vote. You need 2/3 of all the states in Nigeria. You need 25% of the vote cast, legal vote cast in 24 states out of 36 states, right? And the popular votes. Let me explain that to you again. Tifnumbu may come out and have, let's say, 10 million votes, 10 million, and only able to get 25% in 18 states in Nigeria. The polls are showing that if it is by popular vote, with voters' apathy, traditionally, people are not allowed to. They've already cut you off and all of that stuff, the system, which is what happened. A lot of you registered. You're not getting your voters' card, Abi. A lot of you have made transfers to go and vote somewhere else because you have moved, You are unable to find your names, Abi. All of that all the numbers will add up, by the time they do their elections. That's traditional way of rigging you out, okay? Even though you have already upset the establishment, you have already upset their base, but you are yet to prove your theory. The obedient, I'm talking to you there, right? But nevertheless, traditionally, Tifnumbu of APC, Egbekegbe, cannot boast of 25% of votes in 24 states and Abuja as we speak right now. Right now, as you are watching this video, Tifnumbu cannot boast of one. Atiku cannot boast of one. The only person that seems to be closer, if you are following their poll, is Peter Obi, is also not getting the 2/3 as well. But it's also a two-way thing. For the first time, the people are giving the impression that more and more people are going to come out and join the election process and they're going to vote, which then is going to beat the traditional way that people are already losing interest. They don't want to be part of it anymore. It will beat it. And if that should happen, Obi is your next president. And I agree. If you hold the election and you have a large turnout, both popular votes as well as the mandatory legal whatever, Obi will be your next president. But because we know the establishment and we don't want to get so carried away by a theory that is yet to be proven, so we go back to the popular vote and what is now keeping them, all of them, in a frustration level. And you're going to see more of that in the coming days. What am I saying? This week, you know what happened? With the suppressed way of making sure that you don't have access, you don't come out, and by popular votes, Tifnumbu is expected to pull a surprise and win. Then some said, Baba, you go remove your glasses. So I have told you, you don't need to believe anything I said to you. But don't pretend that I never told you. Don't pretend that you never heard that. So that when things start falling in place, don't call me prophet. Please, just remember that all of these are right there in your face. But because some of you are not going to be comfortable with such a conversation because it's, it's so contrary to what you believe in. So you disagree with it. So don't take me serious, please. But just remember, I did break all this down for you. Right? So they said, but Atiku is there, the North is aligning. I said, it's the same scenario. If Atiku pull the stunt and get the popular vote of the highest number of votes based on the traditional way, voters' apathy, vote buying, plus the confusion that they ground, where it can't be like, say, Nigerians, they are cursed with terrible, terrible choices when it comes to leadership. Remember that, like, you would be like, what else do people want? Why can't they just stop all this madness once? And stop. It's Nigeria, so don't go and get hypertension trying to wonder why people will do that. Traditionally, they are expected to. But untraditionally, that's when the obedient comes in. We will surprise them. We will give Obi 16 million votes, popular vote, and he will win Abuja. He will win this and that. I say, yeah, that's a good theory. If they will let you do it. I want you to do it. I want to see you do it. I want you to shock all of us. At the same time, I am reminding you of the guys you are dealing with. They will likely not raise their hand. But it seems the frustration is about to force them to raise the body and everything to fight. And this is the determinant week. You will say, I'm coming. Let me take you to Adamawa. I won't go make another cup of tea. It's part of the chat tonight. And this is Atiku doing his grand finale, the grand finale of his campaign in Adamawa. A different ball, a different vibe, a different feeling. In fact, he's been touted to be the one that will put this surprise Atiku presidency. The old drama. Let's go to Adamawa, just for the sake of a break, right? Like this broadcast, if you haven't, we are over 3,000 of us on YouTube. We are over 500 or 600 of us on Facebook. Good enough. They allowed you to stay this long, okay? Share this video, like this broadcast, and then subscribe if you haven't, okay? And if you don't want to, all right, yeah, you can take that back. I'll be back. Let's go to Adamawa. Adamawa.
My name is Dr. Habu Saliu Magaji, a Grand Patrol of Nance. Sir, with due respect, we will not waste your time. The youth, the students, office of the president is not a place where a learner can go there as a president. Atiku Abubakar, as the vice president, he have led a lot. As the vice president, he knows the history of this country. As the president, he knows each and every local government in this country. As the president, he will call all the stakeholders of 36 states with their names. Greatest Nigerian student, I am here to present the endorsement to the awaiting president, Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri of Adamawa.
Thank you very much. That is the endorsement of Nigerian students on Atiku Okowa presidency by the grace of God. Without wasting much of your time, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to listen to the golden voice of the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the former vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the next president, Atiku Abubakar.
PDP! Jama'an Adamawa, ku ansa mana PDP! PDP! Power to the people. At this occasion, at this event, I want us to remember we have recently lost two leaders of our party. The late Governor Judah and the late Air Commodore Dan Suleiman. Therefore, may I call for a minute silence in their memory.
1 minute silence, please.
May their respective souls rest in peace. Now, the people of Adamawa State, today is the final day of our rally all over the country. I want to use this opportunity not only to address the people of Adamawa State, but the entire country. I want to thank all Nigerians from all the states of the Federation who in the last 6 months have come out to show solidarity, to show support to our great party and to myself. Let me promise Nigerians that we shall never disappoint you. If you give us your mandate, we promise to live by our promises to make sure that we have a united country, that we have a peaceful country, that we have a buoyant economy for our country, and that we have the best education for our children. And also, we devolve powers to our states and local governments with corresponding resources. These are the 5 key points that the PDP has promised to deliver. Therefore, I want to reiterate the commitments to those 5 key points. In Adamawa State, you know that this is a golden opportunity for you if you elect PDP to the presidency, if you elect PDP to continue governing the state. I don't have to tell you what I can do for Adamawa, the Northeast, and Nigeria in general. You know me, that I live by my words and by my commitment. I therefore want to appeal to you to make sure you vote for PDP from top to bottom, from bottom to the top. Don't allow yourself to be misled by any propaganda, by anybody. This is where the future of our state and the country resides, in the hands of PDP. I want to appeal to you to make sure that you vote for all PDP candidates, from state assembly to the presidency. And I know you are going to do that because you have never failed us. Governor Fintri has done a wonderful job in this state. And this is a governor that you need to continue giving him your support so that he can continue advancing the progress of our state. He believes and he is passionate about education as I am. The combination of the two of us, I am sure, will make Adamawa State, particularly in the field of education, a leading light in this country. Let me therefore appeal to you to make sure that you return PDP at the state level and you vote PDP at the national level. My fellow citizens of Adamawa State, I cannot thank you enough. But you must not forget that Nigerians have been very kind to you. They elected me in 2019 to lead this party. And again, they were not disappointed. They elected me for the second time this time. I appeal to you not to disappoint the rest of Nigeria for the favor they have done to you in this state. I want to appeal to you again to make sure you go all out. From today, go all out to your local governments, to your wards, to your units, to your households.
70 years old man. Jesus is Lord. Continue. 70 years old man. Jesus is Lord. you, 70 years old man. Jesus is Lord.
Sorry, guys. I told you that was me trying to make myself a cup of tea, and at the same time, rounding up this conversation. Okay. So, the purpose of this broadcast today, like somebody will say, we can it 2D. We can it 2D. We will broadcast it. What is the 2D? What is the lesson from this broadcast tonight? There are many. And I wish I could summarize them for you, but I will try. Okay. Let me start it like this. The drama of APC is going to get to head this week. There will be more confusion, more scarcity, and at the same time, more pretentious pronouncement from everyone. All of this are going to point to the same thing to show if you are going to have an election or not. The confusion about the money and the rest will lead to further protests and even riots, justifying why the military are going to be everywhere. Now, if this should continue, everyone will likely want to wait for the Supreme Court to say something. But from my own projection, Buhari go talk first. 22nd of February is when the Supreme Court is expected to make a pronouncement on if your Naira is going to be legit or is going to be legal or not. But I have projected that in the game of this confusion, Buhari is likely going to just suddenly agree and say, okay, fine. The 200 Naira is the one we said will be legal until April, Abi. Okay, fine. All of them should be legal. No wahala. But remember that Emefiole said he has already mopped the money, the old money out of circulation, and they have destroyed them. Now, the problem will be, how do we now bring out the destroyed money back to you? Okay? That is when you realize that the whole fight is not about money, new money, old money. No. It is actually the uncooperative side of Buhari is not cooperating with them, handing the resources to them, letting them do what they would like to do to make sure that whether you like it or not, Tinubu will be your next president. Voter apathy, voter suppression, violence, and every other thing, right? So, to expose them, Buhari will likely come and say, okay, now them get money now, what they go give you, I no get. Emefiole, oh yeah, or put it this way. Since Buhari told them that they should release the old 200 Naira notes, how many bankers has been paying you with the 200 Naira notes? How many? Did I not tell you that it's just talk? The scarcity and everything you are witnessing is intentional. And it is to spike or something like, to spark a reaction like what you are witnessing now, confusion, hardship, and every other thing you are seeing. And then maybe violence, protests, and the rest of that is intentional. So even if Buhari says the 500 Naira and the 1,000 Naira old note, they are legal, a lot of you will still have them, you will laugh, you'll be happy. Then you would have to face the problem of, will your bank give them to you? Or will they take them from you? They will still not be available. So politicians will need to bring them out. Do you understand? So, now if this confusion is further added, there is, there is possibility that you have the election if Buhari decided to say, oh yeah, everything continue like that. Because according to my own findings, the damages is already done. A lot of you are already like mad, right? And if you are given the chance, based on their record, you know something, right? You know something. I was telling you about voter apathy that favors the establishment. I have been studying that myself, okay? Using the figures that are readily available, okay? Whether not free and fair election, or whether not free and fair election, or whether not, what do you call it? Now fee and fair, and fair election. It doesn't matter. What happened is that there is record that shows that for the first time, the surge in the people who decided that they are going to participate in this their election in 2023 has never been seen before. Not even in 2015. Never seen before. And you can tell it's because of disobedience, obviously. They said the numbers of those of them that have actually collected their voters card as well. I'm talking about new people who have never really voted before. Never. They said the number is so staggering that it is worrisome, that it got to a stage that you have to like do the old way, control many of them that could have access to that card. A lot of you haven't gotten your cards, and a lot of you are like still fighting and pushing, and they are not sharing them anymore. But the number of those of you who have collected that card demographically is scary. So what they are now doing is to make sure that if they can talk you out of coming or joining any election or being part of it, right, and ensure voters' apathy, you wake up on Sunday morning or Monday morning, and then Tinubu will be your president or Atiku. That's what their number says. But if all of you troop out, like they do your 1 million march, 1 million man this and that you are doing everywhere, if on your day, if they do the election and you come out like that, Obi is your next president too. Even if they have to like rig and do all of that, it will be your next president or elect. That is going to be your next president is probably another one. Maybe it's like oversaying. I'm sorry if I probably go too far saying that. I'm just using their number now. No violence, soldiers everywhere, stopping all the kabakas, the MC Oluerons, and the rest of all those party agents that will need their gala and coke with the stolen money that they want to give to them to buy your vote, right? But if a lot of you are actually out, that will become important. But it doesn't mean that they won't still do what they have to do. They will still do what they have to do. They will still get the millions. But the stat says, if the Anambra people are allowed to actually participate enough, they will cancel. You know, they usually tell you, one single vote from Kano, we cancel all the 5 states in eastern Nigeria. It's propaganda. Yeah, it's political propaganda. There is no number that will back that up. No number. Ordinary vote from Lagos will cancel every vote from all the eastern Nigeria. It's also political propaganda. No number back that up. No numbers. The real number shows that if they do it traditionally, of course, they will cancel you out because they will do that systemically. But if all of you can't decide to be like, do your shege like you normally brag about on social media on Saturday, soldiers everywhere, nobody intimidating you, about ticket APC, my court. So it's the ticket of Atiku. Somebody said, why don't you talk about Showore? Baba, I am using the numbers that are available. Showore doesn't have that number. Doesn't mean that Showore is not better in any way. Yeah, we know. But what is the truth? It doesn't have the number that these guys have. But it's because people are not talking about. Is that what you want to start now? Is that what you want to start now? That we should start finding the reasons why the numbers are not backing Showore, one of the best, you say. Abi? Should we start talking about that now? So the number doesn't back him. Even Kwakwanso, the red cap man, who has shown few places where he's had his people here and there, the number is not backing him. But somehow, the number put his name in the basket. So that is what we're talking about. Anyway, I just thought I should use the political platform to tell you the politics that they said is complicated. Nigerian politics is not complicated. It is trickery and it is fraudulent. Anything that is fraudulent will become unclear. Anything, and they will become suspicious. No, sorry. Superstitious, not suspicious. Superstitious. So people can make up things in order to cover up their ignorance of it. It is not complicated, though. It is fraudulent, corrupt. And if you understand that from the word go, you will understand, you will see clearly all that is happening in their system. And at the same time, you'll be able to handle yourself better. I mean, when I say handle yourself, you never get any emotional attachment. It will be hard. How are they going to pull it off? Get you emotionally attached to people that you know are clowning, only to end up leading a country, and then put you back to where you belong to, right? Now, their prophecies and their projection and the rest of them, in my own book, is still almost the same. They say 24 hours is a long time in politics. I agree. And that is why I said, look out this week. More attacks, more people will be targeted, more people will be killed. I mean, sorry, don't let me use the word kill, but they will kill people if they have to get what they want. And finally, I said, when the pressure gets enough, as mad as Buhari is, even after agreeing that they should let the money continue, for you to continue to spend that money, it's going to leave you at the liberty of the same criminal governors and politicians. Let them give you the money now. Yes, it's going to do that. Then the 2D of the whole conversation is that if everything that happened this week and the Supreme Court comes out and say they should remain legal, to add to your confusion, right? They may end up having to postpone the election. You're going to see that this week, if they are going to postpone your election or not. If they hold your election this Saturday, or if they won't. By Sunday, Monday, you may not have a new president. You may actually have a revolution underway. Yeah, you heard me. Yeah, you heard me. These guys, they will bring down the entire house. If that is what it's going to cost them, right, to keep that power. And from all we have heard, from all, intention and what have you, it is not advisable to invest your emotions. I will wish you all the best. Wish you what you wish yourselves. And this week, I promise you, you will never miss any episode of Mayegun's Diary Political, because everything that will happen this week are going to be the pointers to what you're going to point at in this no distant future. And guess what? All of the actors involved are possibly going to be alive then and become new people trying to say different things again. But trust me, I don't see whether now fear and fear, flee and fear, or free and fear, or no election at all, but enough chaos ahead of it. But if they ever get to postpone the elections, which is likely, then you can be rest assured that Buhari has finalized the barrier of APC, and everything that has to do with APC. Sorry if that sounds so far-fetched, impossible. Of course. Remember your bias. How could you even accept that? After spending months believing that Kolu is a kingmaker, he is unstoppable. So how could you believe what I'm saying? Of course you won't. Nah, until it happens, Abi. How could you say Atiku is not going to win? What are you saying? Do you even know what you are talking about? Of course, I understand where your own bias is coming from too. Mayegu, you cannot sit down abroad and think you know everything that is going on here. Obi will beat all of them before noon. I am not doubting you. I'm just telling you to pay attention to what is going on around you. In case, if all that all of you are wishing are just nightmares, not real, how do you think it's going to be like if you have to come to that reality? You've not thought about that, have you? No, you haven't. There is another one. A lot of you are hanging up, telling yourself, bragging and here and there, holding yourselves in the jugular, trying to suffocate yourself for all these guys over an election that you have no control over. Yeah, you don't. Of course you don't. Then I said, it is one we say, Ashwaju is going to be our next president. Everybody, we no one make them go transformer. Okay. Atiku is the next president. Nobody can stop him. He's going to be the... Okay, fine. Obi is going to defeat all of them. Okay, fine. Good, great. All sounds good. I wish you what you wish yourselves. Okay. But do you have plan B? If one of them will have to be, if there is an election, right? One of them will have to be your next elected president, Abi. So if Tifnumbu fail, do you have plan B? If Atiku fail and Tifnumbu is your president, do you have plan B? And all of you Lagos, Abobaku, Oshogbo, Alimajiri, Buhari, Dins, Buhari, Diderens, Buhari, Diot, barbarians, and all your clannish and all, what have you? What if Tifnumbu loses? Do you have another plan? And they say Obi is your next president, elect. What are you going to do? Don't worry yourself. Don't bother yourself of anything, okay? Buhari, a lot of people died trying to stop you from giving power to Buhari and gang. They died inside them. A lot became alien to Nigeria. They don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria anymore. But what happened? Buhari is president. Is almost rounding up. But a lot of you didn't have plan B. When you are shouting change, change, next devil, holding your fingers like this everywhere. A lot of you didn't have plan B. And you are living in that regret now. Obi, Atiku, Kwekwenso, Tifnumbu, and the rest of them. As attached as you are to them. This one is just like a free, I don't know. It doesn't really matter if you answer or not, okay? In fact, it doesn't really matter if you say anything at all, right? I'll let you go. I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me this evening, okay? You can still like my video. And if you don't like what I've said so far and you've subscribed, you can take that back. And then you can just search for me tomorrow and see if I'm live again, all right? But if you don't want to do all that, right? Yeah, you need to subscribe. Set your notification on. And then like the video so that when I come on next, you won't miss it. I'll see you tomorrow. It's going to be everyday mental song. To go to this, what do you call it? To go to this Armageddon. Nobody's going to go into it blindfolded. Don't get blindfolded. Though. Open your eyes loud. Open your eyes this wide. So that you don't turn around and begin to ask questions. How did we get here? Hey, my people, how did we get here? Baba? That's the journey towards it. So, yeah, I'll see you some other time. And good night, Udaro.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò
Máyégún ti dé.
òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.